Hi, my name is Lulu. I'm a compulsive overeater and I'm here with Shalece today. And today we are going to talk about, move on to one of the next promises, which is the eighth promise, which states our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. And this is entitled Our Outlook Brightens, which is lovely. Our outlook brightens. The eighth promise is far reaching. It states our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. As drinkers, the only important changes for us were external: different watering holes, different drinks, different mixes, different friends. We blamed everything but alcohol for our pain we suffered and the mishaps we encountered. We didn't even admit the one obvious change. Our lives grew progressively worse no matter what we tried. In recovery, we begin to accept life as it happens, not as we would like it to be or as we believed the bottle would make it. With our new attitudes, we no longer seek others to validate our behavior and our opinions. We no longer seek compliments, knowing that such praise is really fragile and short lived. We learn that the less we seek approval, the more we receive. We see the importance of satisfying ourselves instead of inviting applause from others. We strive to live up to our potential while making sure we work wisely within our limitations. We discover in a fellowship like AA that our true worth remains after all material things are gone. The things in life with lasting value can never be taken from us. We become aware that truth is unchangeable. Our approach to truth, however, can change for the worse if we permit old ideas to dominate our outlook on life. We must remember no one can hurt us unless we permit them to. We cannot prevent what happens to us, but we are always responsible for how we react to experiences. A positive attitude will determine our responses. In recovery, we change our approach from hostile and negative to positive and friendly. It becomes obvious that a wrong attitude will build as much guilt within us as a wrong deed. A changed attitude will not lead us to believe everything will be perfect, but we will confront life on realistic, not fanciful terms. Furthermore, the self-loathing of our guilty, drunken selves will give way to a higher self-esteem. One more paragraph. Our new attitude will include looking at life one day at a time. Thus, we escape the persistent guilt from the past and the fear of the future. This outlook includes examining each day as it ends. This always produces an active gratitude within us. We find it is not enough to feel gratitude. We must express gratitude through love and service to others. How cool is that reading? Wow. So, oh my goodness. I'll just start backwards up about gratitude. Expressing gratitude through love and service to others, just expressing the act of expressing gratitude on a daily basis. Examining each day as it ends and produce the act of gratitude. Let's see, today is June. Oh, last month, May 2021, made 6 consecutive years that I have been practicing daily gratitude. You know, people are like, make a gratitude list, A to Z, 10 things, whatever. I don't use A to Z. I don't say 10 things. I might have 3 things and I might have 30 things. I found that when I first started making gratitude lists, it seemed to be very repetitive because we kind of all go right towards the same specific groups of things like health, my kids, my house, my family, my job. I'm so grateful for the beautiful day and all those. And then the next day you could just repeat the whole thing. But when you're really digging deep, that same family that can trip you up one day and then something happens this day and you feel in gratitude in that same thing. It's like a specific. So no more. It's not just, oh, I'm grateful for my family. What it is I'm grateful because today this is what my family looked like. This is what my family did. And just to get really specific about that. And, they always say, whatever you focus on grows. So, um, this promise that's called Our Outlook Brightens, um, my outlook can only brighten if I'm focusing on um, bright things, and which is, it just really all comes down to gratitude and being grateful for every gosh darn day that I wake up, that I put my feet on the ground. I had an abstinent day yesterday. That's what I'm starting my day with today. Is I put that grateful head on the pillow because I just did my gratitude list, and that's the head that I put on the pillow every night. And it's a no wonder why I sleep good. It's just a no wonder why, right? Um, and then when I wake up, I just know I feel good. I I'm at a healthy body weight. I get myself out of bed, and there's always beautiful things to 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 um, to have an outlook about, because it's like, and I find that, like, the 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 deeper my recovery feels, I feel like, the brighter that my outlook is feels, because I'm just always filled with that the more that matters, not the more chips and cookies, more God, more God, more love, more fellowship, more gratitude. And I just start my day and I'm like, I could have nothing planned. And in my eyes, it's the perfect day. I don't need, I don't need like a parade outside my window anymore. I don't need to be entertained. I don't, I just love that, like, when my needs are just kind of brought down to what actually is needs and what's wants, and that the doing the fourth step really helped me differentiate my wants from my needs, when I did my fear writing on my resentments, when I had to distinguish, like, am I afraid of that I'm not getting what I want, or am I afraid of not getting what I need? It seemed like the same thing, but man, those things are different. And it seemed like whenever I picked want, uh, the truth always turned out to be, it's like, that's kind of really not what true happiness is. True happiness is really a closer relationship with my higher power. And whenever I picked need, it was like, it's like, it seems like a need. It seems like a need. But basically, I've been without that at many times in my life, and I know that I've always gotten what I needed all my life. Because if I didn't, I mean, how would I be here, um, safe and secure today? So I think I was safe and secure my whole life. I just didn't know it. It seemed like life was shaky. So I love how, where it says, our approach to truth, however, can change for the worse if we permit old ideas to dominate our outlook on life. So that's that focus again. Whatever you focus on, you might as well just throw it up on flashing lights, because that you're going to create it. I kind of like the law of attraction a little bit. What do I want to attract to myself? What do I want to focus on? The minute it's an old idea that uh, feels disturbs me in any way, I will identify that as a potential lie, just potential, and I'll just kind of see where I can find the truth. And if I can do that in a half a second, which most of the time it happens, that's what I call doing a step 10 in your head. Discomfort, restless, irritable, discontent, step 10. Can I do it in my head? Do I need to sit quiet and think about it for a minute to find that truth? Or do I need to write it out formally, unravel that way? Or do I need to write it out formally, unravel, and get on a session with my sponsor? Those are the big ones. Those are the big ones, and are reoccurring ones. Even if they're little, but they reoccur a lot, you kind of probably have, like, you got some digging to do. And that's how my whole attitude and outlook upon life has changed, because I have been given these suggestions. Really, the big book is just a book of suggestions. Um, the only time Bill Wilson really, really, really goes like a little bit past suggesting, when he begs. He uses the word beg twice in the big book. One thing he begs us to do is to lay aside prejudice when it comes to a higher power. And the other thing he begs us to do is to be fearless and thorough, and that's with our writing. So those two things he begs. He says the word beg. I beg you. He begs us. Everything else is, what does it say in what at the on the on 164 that we read at the end of the meetings? I'm sorry, I'm gonna take a minute and find it. A book is meant to be suggestive only. It's a book of suggestions. Do it if you want if I want what it talks about in that book. I got to do it. When I do it, my outlook brightens. I'm like full of hope for even more and more. There is so much more. There's so much more. And I'm going for it. And so I'm going to end right there. Shalece, why don't you grab it? Grab the mic. Grab the microphone, girl.
Grab the mic. Oh, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much. As I was listening to you read the passage, it took me back to, it kind of went back to the very beginning and thought about the darkness, the deep, deep, dark experience that I had before I came into the program. I had dug myself into a really, really, really deep, dark pit when I was in active addiction. And I didn't know that I had dug it. I thought that everybody else had dug it for me. And, it was everybody else's fault that I was so miserable. And I hit a bottom and finally, miraculously, OA fell into my lap as I started to kind of study some things about addiction. And I saw how I might be a food addict. And then I walked into my first OA meeting and as I was so graciously and beautifully led to an in-person big book meeting in Bangor, Maine, and met who would be my future sponsor, a beautiful, beautiful woman who just glowed. She was just glowing. And this light was just coming from her. And I saw it and I wanted it. And so I asked her to sponsor me and show me what to do. And immediately when I became abstinent, my pit became shallower. A light became, it was like a light was turned on. And I know if any of you have experienced the first 2 weeks of abstinence, it's like this fog just totally lifts. And I could think clearly, I could see clearly. And literally just with that one act of becoming abstinent, my outlook brightened. And with each subsequent step and each experience, my outlook becomes brighter and brighter. Do I experience darkness in recovery? Yes, I do experience darkness in recovery. As Lulu was saying, restless, irritable, discontent. I experience all of those same things that I experienced before I was abstinent, but I now have the tools that will turn me in, turn me over, help me to turn my glasses around because I'm looking at the world backwards, and my outlook brightens again, and it gets brighter and brighter. The more truth I find, the more free I become, the brighter I become. And it seems like, there would be a limit to the brightness, and there just isn't. There just is no limit. It is limitless to my experience, because when I thought it couldn't get any better, it does. Oh my gosh. Just when I thought it couldn't get any more amazing, it does. Just when I thought I couldn't experience any more freedom, I do. And it's just gets added on, added on, and added on. And I am going to just echo what Lulu said about gratitude and practicing daily gratitudes as I constructively review my day. I also participate in daily gratitudes, deep daily gratitudes, not just the I'm grateful for my car and my house and my clothes and my, my kids and my husband and it's like deep, like I know right now I'm experiencing the gratitude of a new ability to communicate that I never experienced before in my life. And I'm 7 years into abstinence, and I didn't even know at the beginning of abstinence or at the beginning of recovery that I needed work in this area. It's all just come to light. It's all just come to light as I as I was like put one foot in front of the other, and God has moved me progressively. But like I say, if you're experiencing that, if you're in the dark, come on over. Come on over. There's plenty of light. There's so much light. If you're feeling in the deep dark pit of insanity and despair, fear not. There's a way out. There is a solution. You got to work for it. It doesn't come for free. This is what I love. Like, go listen to our recording on the arch that we're building. I think it's in our getting started section. Go back and listen to the arch, even if you've listened to it before. There is purpose in all of this, and it is to have us walk through to that brighter future and freedom. So that's what I've got on the light growing, our future getting brighter. Lulu, do you have anything else you want to share?
Yeah, I'd like to share one thing. That was excellent. Oh, just you gave me goosebumps. You gave me goosebumps. One thing my sponsor always says about happiness, I was going to look it up because I have it jotted in my big book, but I'm going to just wing it. Happiness is always like getting the next thing. So like, oh, I got this. And then, oh, that makes me happy. Oh, the sun's out. That's happy. Right. And then like, oh, I got a new car. That's happy. And oh, I got good results from a doctor's appointment. That's happy. Like you get these moments of life is just filled with really moments of happiness. But it's always just like they're all just like little hits, because the minute I'm happy about the sun, maybe about 10 minutes later, I'm not really even thinking about the sun anymore. I just had that moment of happiness. And so happiness is always kind of like getting the next thing, whatever that is, even if they're all wonderful, reasonable things. It's not even about being materialistic. But she always says, true happiness, true with a capital T, can only come from a closer relationship with your higher power, with God. That would be the difference between happiness and true happiness. So, a closer relationship with God. That's my step 11. We always talk about 10 and 11 and 12. Don't forget them. Don't skimp on them. If you're doing 2 of them and not 3 of them, your recovery is weak. If you're doing none of them, good luck. Good luck. But even just slacking in one of them, if you're not turning around those insane thoughts, how is your outlook going to be bright? If you're not improving your conscious contact with God, praying only for the knowledge of His will and the power to carry that out, not praying for like whatever's on your list. That's not what step 11 says. And working with others, trying to carry the message to other compulsive overeaters, and practicing all the principles that I've gathered, all those principles that encourage me to live in today with a bright outlook, because I get to do that tomorrow too. And tomorrow's the future, and I just, it's something I have an outlook on. So I get moments of happiness. I get moments of happiness as I live my life, and those feel good. But true happiness only comes from a closer relationship with my higher power. And I invite you to consider the same and work 10, 11, and 12 like your pants are on fire.